Can you imagine that this is the same panda? Her name is Zhaomei, and she's the star beauty of the panda world. But how did such a gorgeous panda end up with such an unflattering photo? Today, let's explore the story behind this picture. On May 7, 2014, a villager in Zhaomei County, Liangshan, Sichuan, was walking through a bamboo forest when they noticed what looked like a muddy little monkey. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a national treasure, a giant panda. Although it was covered in mud, you could still make out its black and white fur. The villager reported the find, and local forestry officials quickly rushed to the scene. They determined that the panda was a wild female in very poor condition. This area was far from the panda's usual habitat, suggesting she may have been chased there by predators. She was injured all over. The forestry officials decided to transport her for treatment, and that's how Zhaomei ended up with this classic photo. 2 days later, Zhaomei was gradually transferred to the Chengdu Panda Base. There, experts discovered that she was in critical condition. Her hind legs were weak, her pulse was racing at 120 beats per minute, when it should have been around 80, and her entire body was inflamed and severely weakened. When they weighed her, they found that despite being nearly 3 years old, Zhaomei weighed only 40 kilograms. In comparison, pandas of the same age at the base typically weigh around 80 to 90 kilograms. But one thing was certain. Her emaciated state proved she hadn't eaten in a long time. After 2 hours of treatment, Zhaomei started to improve and even managed to eat some bamboo shoots. Then it was time for a bath. Once she was cleaned up, everyone was surprised to discover that this muddy little creature was actually a very beautiful panda girl. Because she was discovered in Zhaomei County and initially rescued in Meigu County, her name was created by taking a character from each place, becoming Zhaomei. But if you search online now, you'll find she's called Feng Zhaomei. So why the change? Where did the Feng come from? The story goes that as Zhaomei's health improved at the panda base, she gradually grew into the chubby, adorable panda we all picture. She quickly became a star, drawing crowds of visitors eager to see her. But being a wild panda, Zhaomei was initially very cautious around tourists and staff, reacting with a startled expression at even the slightest noise. Visitors caught this on camera and shared it online, where people noticed she bore an uncanny resemblance to a certain famous celebrity with the surname Feng. This led to her being affectionately nicknamed Feng Zhaomei by netizens. Zhaomei's eating habits were also a bit unusual. For a long time, she would only eat bamboo. All the other gourmet treats that captive pandas usually enjoy, like sweet apples, were completely ignored by her. It wasn't until many years later that Zhaomei slowly began to warm up to the idea of eating in front of people, gradually embracing her new role as a daily mukbang star. In those early days, young Zhaomei had a particular fondness for climbing trees. She didn't just play or sleep in them. She would even carry her food up to eat in the treetops. This behavior was another sign of her natural wariness as a wild panda. A few years later, when Zhaomei reached the age for mating, the breeding center set up some dates for her. Almost every male panda that met her was completely smitten, but despite all the attention, Zhaomei famously turned down the two most handsome pandas, Meilan and Suxing. Then one day she met Bao and instantly fell in love. The funny thing is, Bao wasn't particularly handsome, so why him? It turns out Bao, like Zhaomei, was a rescued wild panda. He even shares his name with the character from Kung Fu Panda. Rumor has it that when the movie's creators later saw the real Bao in action, they wished they had used him as the model for the character. In 2019, Zhaomei gave birth to a baby boy named Jin Bao. When he was born, he looked like a tiny little mouse, which is how all baby pandas look. Super cute. There's even a joke that a panda mom could sneeze and accidentally blow her tiny cub away. Because Zhaomei is a Sichuan panda and a Bao is a Qinling panda, Jin Bao grew up with the distinct traits of a mixed panda. His fluffy ears, which look like a little bun, have won over many visitors. In 2021, Zhaomei had a daughter named Jingxiao. She's calm one moment, full of energy the next, and even picked up her mom's habit of carrying food up into the trees to eat. Later, Zhaomei had her youngest daughter, Jindu, who was a playful little troublemaker. Looking at Zhaomei now, so relaxed and content, it's hard to believe she was once that muddy little panda from 10 years ago. All right, that's the end of today's story. See you next time.